Have you ever met someone whose gentleness feels endless? Someone who's always available, always helpful, always ready with a soft smile? People like that glow in a way that makes the world feel safer. But if you linger long enough, if you really listen, you might notice something beneath that glow, an exhaustion they've learned to hide. We like to imagine kindness as something simple and clean, a virtue that exists without cost. We dress it up as innocence, as purity, as proof of goodness. But kindness is not weightless. And for many people, being kind has never been a choice. It has been a survival strategy. It often begins in childhood. A young person discovers that being agreeable earns affection, that silence prevents conflict, that self-sacrifice draws warmth they can't get any other way. Eventually, kindness becomes less an action and more an identity. They don't just choose kindness, they become kindness. And in the process, they slowly disappear. When kindness grows from fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of disappointing someone, the kindness isn't a gift anymore. It's a mask. And masks might protect, but they also restrict. Over time, the wearer forgets how to breathe beneath them. If you've ever been the dependable one, you know the double life it creates. On the outside, you're patient and present. On the inside, a quiet bitterness accumulates, one you feel guilty for having because good people shouldn't feel that way. So you swallow it. And swallowed emotions don't dissolve. They ferment. Psychologists call this spiral compassion fatigue, when constant giving exhausts the parts of you that are meant to replenish empathy. It isn't limited to caretaking professions. Anyone who habitually prioritizes others can fall into it. Without boundaries, kindness becomes a form of self-erosion. A person can give so much of themselves that nothing remains to give from. And there's another twist. When you always say yes, people stop imagining that you could ever mean no. Not because they're cruel, but because you've unintentionally trained them to overlook your needs. Your generosity turns into a silent agreement. I will shrink so that you can expand. The kinder you become, the more invisible you feel. True kindness isn't meant to hollow you out. It isn't meant to turn you into a ghost living at the edge of everyone else's life. But that's exactly what happens when you confuse kindness with self-abandonment. Boundaries are what rescue kindness from becoming martyrdom. A boundary does not say, I love you less. It says, I love us both enough to tell the truth. People afraid to set boundaries often fear being seen as selfish. But there's a deeper fear beneath that, the fear that love will disappear if they stop overgiving. Many adults carry this belief from childhood where affection was conditional, earned through silence, obedience, or emotional labor. But real kindness requires self-inclusion. If your compassion skips over you, it isn't compassion. It's performance. Healthy generosity flows from abundance, not depletion. And abundance comes from tending to your internal landscape, rest, honesty, creativity, connection, solitude. When your own roots are nourished, you can offer kindness that strengthens instead of drains, that uplifts instead of erases. The hardest part? Letting yourself feel the emotions you've suppressed. Anger, weariness, disappointment. These are failures of character. They are indicators, warnings that you have crossed your own boundaries or allowed someone else to. When ignored, those feelings become the monster within, not because they are evil, but because anything buried for too long returns distorted. Taking off the mask you built through years of pleasing is scary. Some people will not like the unmasked you. Some will withdraw when you stop being endlessly available. Let them. Any relationship that depends on your disappearance is not a relationship worth protecting. Kindness without self-respect is a slow form of self-destruction. But kindness rooted in self-awareness becomes something vastly more powerful, a form of truth-telling, of presence, of love that does not require you to disappear. The world doesn't need more people who say yes out of fear. It needs people whose compassion is real because it is grounded in wholeness. So the next time someone calls you kind, ask yourself quietly, is this kindness draining me or sustaining me? Is it coming from obligation or authenticity? Is it a mask or is it me? The answer to that question reveals everything. And real kindness, the kind that includes you, doesn't just keep others alive. It keeps you alive too.